What started as a friendly conversation, along with admiration for the other person's image, suddenly made Mevika feel angry. "Did you eavesdrop on my phone call?" "I didn't eavesdrop. I was standing right there, and you came over to talk. If you thought it was a business secret, you should have been more careful. I'm just saying this out of goodwill. It's lucky that I was the one who overheard it, so no worries. Right now, I'm just curious who you were talking about." Ajwarin smirked, her gaze sharp. "So who was that person?" "That's rude." Mevika quickly closed her bag and prepared to walk away. She wondered why no other women had entered the restroom. She knew that the female VIP guests at the event were quite few compared to the men, with a ratio of 1 to 4, but there should have been someone else. She was irritated, and that led to her asking the question. "Hey!" Ajwarin stopped her by stepping in front of her. Just a half step, but before the other person moved quickly at that moment, they collided head-on. Ajwarin staggered, hitting the lower edge, while the person who was bumped into also stumbled forward, quickly using both hands to brace themselves against the edge of the sink. Now, both of them were in a position where one was standing over the other. The two of them paused and stared at each other. Their bodies collided, and they both lost balance. They were now so close that their faces were only inches apart, making them inadvertently gaze at each other. Realizing what was happening, the one who had stopped quickly spoke. "If you're talking about someone else, I wouldn't want to eavesdrop, but unfortunately I overheard." Ajwarin smiled. "If you're talking about someone beautiful and talented, that person must be a woman. But I want to say that if I were that woman, I would be glad that you didn't want to be my competitor. But we have to do it because it's business. Right now, I want to compete with you, Ajwarin," Mevika said, glaring. "Are you admitting that you're talking about me?" Ajwarin smiled and satisfied. "And if I say I don't want to compete with you, what then?" "We have to compete," Mevika insisted firmly, because it was the truth. The auction was a competition, and her father had set the goal for her to take on this role against specific people. She admitted to herself that the person she was talking about on the phone with her father was indeed Ajwarin. That was one reason she hesitated when she found Ajwarin standing there waiting for coffee. "All right then. I'll compete in the auction with you, but not in anything else," Ajwarin said with a sly smile. But she was sure that she was sincere in every word she said. A silence fell between them, making them both gaze at each other again. In the new restroom on the 4th floor, near the hall where people were starting to leave after the press conference, there were fewer people using the restroom.
The shimmering eyeshadow enhanced the glow of her face, making her even more mesmerizing. There was something about this woman that drew her in. That was probably why she didn't want to be her competitor. But, well, if they really did become competitors, it would be quite exciting. For Mevika, being this close to Ajwarin's face made her heart race, but held her gaze steady. Ajwarin was too beautiful, her elegant nose made want to speak up, but she didn't know what to say. Her lips were complimented, with beautiful eyes and eyebrows drawn like a work of art. Her jawline complemented the sharpness of her chin, with proportions that were just right. The nude lipstick matched perfectly with the coffee-colored suit she was wearing today. "Can you step back now?" Mevika suddenly realized that they had been standing in that position for quite a while, so it was time to cut the conversation short and leave. They were both lost. Had already been in the restroom for a long time. If her father hadn't gone back to work, he probably would have called for her by now. "You." Before she could continue, a conversation from the restroom entrance made both of them quickly step apart. Ajwarin quickly glanced at the mirror, while Mevika, who was holding a small bag and ready to leave, walked out, just as two women entered. She walked out naturally, trying not to appear out of place. She felt like she was being watched, probably because she had just introduced herself to the press not long ago. If they happened to encounter Ajwarin, who had just shaken hands with her in front of the media, there would be nothing to worry about. If they acted like nothing happened, no one would have anything to say about it. Ajwarin acted normal, her beautiful face reflected in the mirror. She glanced back as the two women appeared in the mirror's reflection. They looked at her, and she smiled at them before they separated and entered different stalls. She behaved normally as if nothing unusual had occurred, just a woman coming to use the restroom. But in her mind, she was being troubled by thoughts of someone.